Hey, Matt Galloway. It's 9:26 on October 6th, 2025. They're talking about violence in the media on the phones of kids. Aside from the violence, there's also the fact that kids are on their phone a lot because they crave some sort of social interactions that they are not getting at home or at school or in their communities because we don't have social skills, interpersonal skills, life skills. That's what I'm talking about, and they're not taught or even acknowledged to be missing by their own families or educators or cultures or politicians or media celebrities like you. You're a media celebrity. You influence your culture by the things you decide to talk about or not talk about. So here's a paradigm that you're not talking about here. When Carney is going to meet Trump today, he's a one trick. They're both one trick ponies, okay? They both operate in a paradigm that is magical, right? The monetary paradigm. Now, I don't know if you guys notice this about the human condition and these patterns, but because of the monetary paradigm that elevates status or power or the ability to create a false sense of security through ownership or assets, it makes the worst of us more influential, the concept of money. So, to make a little bit of money, let's say, by showing graphic videos on YouTube, is what the average failed people primate will do. Okay, and that's the norm, and that's what you don't talk about. Because if somebody does a video, let's say, that is educational related to the human condition or culture, what is good or bad for evolving or devolving culture, they're not going to spread as much, right? Based on the monetary paradigm. The monetary paradigm puts the worst of us out there as a way to kind of dominate. So the one trick ponies of Trump and Carney are not going to have the right conversations. For example, Carney's not going to go and say, part of our negotiation, President Trump, is we're worried about what's happening in your culture. Do you think he's a systems thinking culture repair, Carney? No. He's brainwashed in economics, and he's high on the power that he believes he has more skill sets than Trump, which he probably does in that wizardry of the magical paradigm. But are they going to make, as influential people, the cultures of their country better or worse? Well, these are conversations you should be having. You should be kind of trying to find out why is that the limit of the conversation? Why isn't Carney putting negotiation pressure by saying, hey, we don't like how you've been supporting genocide. We don't like how in the Caribbean, some of our technology has been used, for war crimes. And we would like to maybe get away from our cultural patterns here in Canada, hypocrisy, laissez-faire attitudes, and impunity facilitation, by kind of not being so fake on the international stage, by being too aligned with your culture, but also by, really respecting the rule of law within Canada, but also on the international stage. Now, of course, the cabinet of Carney is reinforcing the one trick pony economics thing. They're not really systems thinking culture repairers either. They're not public servants capable of governing in ways that would harm or benefit their culture, which is different than the economy, which falls under not the social sciences, but forms of mental illness, like David Suzuki said. Economics is mental illness. And the fact that this type of manipulative math for the benefit of the worst of us isn't being challenged by politicians or Matt Galloway type journalists is we're in trouble.